Hello everyone, this is me, as you... Anyways, what we're gonna do today, whatever time you're watching this in, is explain redstone gates to people who kind of need it. I mean, I couldn't find that many useful tutorials on what redstone gates were, so I figured that now that I understand a little more, I might as well. So what I've done is I've set up several different gates, and we'll go through them one by one, starting with just normal redstone. Okay, you have the switch on. That is the on position. Turn it off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Okay, and the piston goes up and down. Now, what we have over here is the NOT gate. Otherwise known as an inverter, and essentially what it does is it takes the redstone torch, and when you have it in the switch or whatever device you're using on the on position, the device is off. So we're just going to turn it on to the off position, and voila, it's on. Off, on, off, on. There we go, all done. This next gate is called the AND gate for a very good reason. It needs both inputs to be on to work. Now, I personally am doing a little work with this myself, and I find, if this thing will turn off, and I find that you don't have to have the switches right up next to it, but for the sake of this video and being compact and quick, it's all right there. So you see that both inputs are on. Both of them have to be on, and it goes up. And there we go with that one. And now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the OR gate. And essentially, I have both inputs on. Okay, this switch is the input if you're not following me. And essentially, what it is one or the other. Well, if they're on, then it goes off. So I think, if I remember correctly, this is an inverted one. It might not be. I have a link down below. All these gates come from the Minecraft wiki, which is a great resource if you're starting out. I'm just using this video to help anyone who needs an extra little boost in how that works. So you see that it goes off. Now that we have both inputs on, or one input on, go off. There. I see, just that simple. This next one is a well, it's the other kind of NOR gate. That input on, that input on. Essentially just does the opposite of the other OR gate. And the device turns off when the input is on. You want to know what? I don't know exactly what we're going to do here. But it is an OR gate, at the very least, a different kind of way, maybe a little more discreet. Oh, wait. No. Nope, that's just a normal one. At least it's a little more discreet for those of you watching. This one is the inverted AND gate. And it's pretty much the same thing you saw way back over here with the AND, but there's one difference. This redstone torch is not on over here. And where am I? There we are. As you can see, one input is on, the other input is on, and now I have a feeling it did something wrong here and created a nice looking OR gate. Again, well, at least this next one, it can't be a one. I can't remember what this is called. I do believe it's called the NOR gate. And essentially it's an OR gate that does its own thing. The thing about this is that it has to be in two different positions. I mean, you can have one on, one off. You can have them both off, you can have them both on, and it won't work. You have to have one or the other on. And then this will power. Up next is... I can't remember what it's called. It's an implies gate. Essentially, it states that if A is already on, who cares about B? And this is A over here, input A, and over here is input B. Now, this kind of redstone stuff is probably more handy for adventure maps, specifically if you're creating something like that. Next over here is something I'm currently working with, and our final gate. It is a NAND gate, and it's more of a memory cell on/off, if anything. And what we have here is we have two different outputs. We're going to call the one over here output A, output B, and essentially it's powered when this redstone is on. But this stuff isn't, so that one isn't powered, that one is. Now this extra stone right about here and here are just to cover up the redstone wiring so that way it doesn't cross right here and accidentally turn on when this is on, and that would just completely ruin the gate, and I didn't want to do that for you guys. But the idea behind this is that this is used mainly for clocks, and which is why I'm using it for myself. I'm building a clock tower. So you see this input A over here is not working. It's connected to this redstone. So we're going to consider this the on state. This redstone torch is active, but this one isn't for input A. The input B over here, when we turn that on, all of a sudden that's on, that's off. Output, I believe we called it A, is off. Output B is on. And essentially, to make this gate work, you need two different kinds of outputs. And any of these switches can be easily replaced by I'm going to need to stop destroying blocks, by pressure plates or buttons. And there was a distinct lack of repeaters, but if you're going to activate something far away, you're definitely going to need these repeaters right here. I mean, they boost the signal. And you'll see that right here, and we're just going to create that really quickly. And now this redstone torch constantly puts it on. So redstone power has a distinct limit. Right here is about, I think it's 15 blocks. I'm not going to count it out in this video. But notice that it's not reaching up here, and this isn't being powered. Which means, consequently, no, we don't want to destroy it. Consequently, the sticky piston is also not being powered. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back a little bit to right about here, and we're going to just destroy that. And then the redstone repeater will recharge and replenish, so that way it can reach all the way to our little sticky piston. And there we go. That's how the repeaters work. So there are plenty more gates, and I might go into them deeper into detail. My apologies, in the future. But I'm definitely gonna figure these out a little more and then whatnot, and we'll come back to you if this is requested. But this is just a little tutorial for everyone who doesn't exactly know how redstone gates work and are curious about it. I definitely encourage you to go to the wiki and look these up to kind of figure out how specifically they're used. So with that, I bid you adieu. You have a nice one, and I will kill myself sometime later in my next videos. Not actually kill myself. I'm referring to my other Minecraft videos. Please check them out, and if you like them, like the videos, and maybe subscribe. I'm not going to force you. You don't have to. Good day.